Hello and welcome to West Coast Cloud. Thank you very much for joining us today. We've got the lovely Lucy Bourne from Cloud 2020 to present to you guys Springboard, which is a fantastic attachment service to CRM. Lucy, can I hand them over to you, please?
Absolutely. Thanks, Georgie. So thank you again for taking the time to join this webcast and also for watching back if you're watching this on demand. As Georgie said, I work for a company called Cloud 2020 and we specialise in Dynamics CRM online. And specifically today we're going to be talking about Springboard. So Springboard is our pre-packaged CRM instance of development specifically designed at SMBs to get them started quickly and easily with Dynamics CRM. So it's essentially a piece of development that sits on top of Dynamics that really takes out some of the complexities and makes life as simple as possible for SMB owners. So as Georgie said, it's a really simple attach to the likes of Office 365 and Azure offerings. And Springboard itself was really born out of our existing relationships with customers that we've been working with in the UK that were coming to us all with very similar requirements. They were wanting things along the lines of understanding what their weighted revenue was or having key questions and quality gates that they were asking during their sale. And so as a result, Springboard was born. Springboard really predominantly focuses on sales automation and sales productivity. So the three main points we're attempting to cover with the deployment of Springboard is around focusing and pinpointing on the prospects and opportunities that you have. So not only keeping a track of what's going on from a communication perspective, but also enabling you to understand more about your prospects and using tools such as Insights, reaching out onto online channels to bring in as much information about those prospects that you may or may not already know. It's about cleansing and understanding more about what's going on. And out of the back of that, therefore, giving you the access to the data around your opportunities and prospects to succeed more quickly in the sales. And therefore, by growing sales. So the idea is, at the end of the day, you're able to visually see exactly what's going on in your business, where the holes lie, where your opportunities are falling through the cracks, or where you're doing particularly well, and therefore having that understanding, both when you're in the office and when you're working remotely on your devices and outside of the office. So as I mentioned, Springboard was really born out of some of the conversations that we were having with our SMB customers. And they were coming to us with very similar requirements and also some key concerns. And these are the three main concerns that we were coming up against. So firstly, you were saying, Lucy, I understand that I need a CRM. I'm seeing loads of comments in the press about how the upturn in the economy means that I must know more about what's going on within my business, about where my challenges are and where my sales are coming from. But I've perhaps downloaded a trial or I've spoken to a consultant and it just, by downloading the trial, I'm confused. There is a lot of stuff here that I don't perhaps think I need or I don't know how to take advantage of and I don't have anyone to help me support do it. So as a result, I may be picking up the phone to a consultant and they were saying, you know, a minimum of 25 days development, that kind of thing. And so this are two key barriers to the implementation of a good CRM and good understanding of analytics within your business. And so as a result, Springboard has a one-off implementation fee to get rid of that myth that costs can seem high or unknown. The next question was, okay, Luce, I know now I can understand that I can afford to implement a Dynamics CRM instance into my business, but how do I know that people are going to use it? With Springboard, we've focused incredibly strongly on user adoption and we've streamlined the user process as much as possible to make sure that this system is as intuitive as possible so they know where they're looking and they know where they're going. What's more is Springboard integrates with lots of familiar Office tools such as Outlook, such as SharePoint to ensure that they can access the communication, the email history, the tasks and the appointments, as well as the documents that relate to their leads and their prospects and any marketing automation that they might be looking into. And so that really they're working within an environment that they're already familiar with. So a lot of that training hurdle is already superseded. And finally, they were saying, okay, so I know I can afford it. I know that my team are going to use it because it's an environment that they're familiar with. But how long is it going to take to implement? And we say that we can naught to Springboard within 30 days. And quite often the implementation time is less than 30 days, but that builds in a nice little period just in case we're waiting on some feedback from the customer. And so that quashes most of the common myths around the implementation of a CRM solution, and it's really what Springboard is focusing in on to get over. Out of the back of those key customer concerns, 2 additional concerns were often coming out. So I know that I can afford it. I know how long it's going to take to implement. I know my team are going to use it. But going forward, when my business needs change, when my business grows or changes direction, will Springboard flex to fit the needs of my business? Now, obviously, Springboard is built on the sustainable and the wide-reaching platform that is Dynamics CRM Online, and so therefore is completely future-proofed and customized. And as a partner, we always make sure that we put any future-proofing requests or additional customization through you so that we can ensure to meet the needs of your customer and keep them ongoing and a nice long-term relationship with your customer. And finally, training. As I mentioned in the adoption piece, training is a really huge focus for us here at Cloud 2020. And so as a result, we've invested heavily in putting together key online resources, both in video and article formats, to ensure that our Springboard end users can access the support they need when they need it. Because we all appreciate that, you know, a business owner may be logging into Springboard at, say, 7 p.m. on a Friday evening, and they're really desperate to get that invoice out just before the close of play, before the weekend, so that they can relax. And they don't want to be logging a case and waiting till Monday morning to get that case resolved. So as a result, we've put together these really strong support articles to ensure that they can self-serve. But as I mentioned, they can also log a request with us, and Springboard includes the full support on the Springboard package as well, to ensure that they can get some feedback online from us if they have any queries. And so hopefully those key customer concerns are completely quashed. Now, obviously, Springboard is a really great attachment to the Office 365 piece, and so therefore it makes sense for those offering Office 365 and perhaps Azure or even EMMS to offer Springboard as that attachment. But there are some key partner concerns that our partners were coming to us with during that sales process. So firstly, they were saying, you know I need to be offering CRM to my customers because they're coming to me and asking me for it. They're really keen to understand their business data more. But I've got a decision to make. Do I decide to offer CRM myself and build up a CRM practice in-house? Or do I outsource or use a strategic partner such as Cloud 2020 to help me offer that? Now, either way, there's some decisions to be made. Obviously, keeping the CRM development in-house is extremely costly and comes with a huge investment, but nonetheless one that you may want to consider in the future. Partnering with someone like us at Cloud 2020 with the Springboard offering allows you to go to market not only a lot quicker, but with a lot simpler a message. That the conversation that you're having with your customers around CRM or Springboard, the Springboard messaging is far clearer. They understand what they're going to achieve and what their return on investment is going to be much quicker. And so therefore we hope to take away that risk. And the second key question, which is obviously one I really hope to quash within this webinar, is around competition and transparency. So as a business, 90% of what we do is through our Springboard partner channel. And so as a result, you know, we obviously wouldn't want to eat our own lunch and take any customers off you, but we have a complete focus purely on Dynamics CRM. So we don't offer any other online offerings from Microsoft. So we always back to the partner at that point if the customer comes to us, and it's quite often the case. They might say something along the lines of, "Oh, Lucy, we're doing really well with our CRM now. We're thinking of taking on a new, commission-only salesperson to help us through that process. Can we please have a new Springboard license?" So we always go back to the partner, who in turn then goes back to West Coast or our distribution channel to manage that additional license. So from a customer perspective, we have very much nailed down the deployment process of Springboard to not only make it as quick as possible, but also as efficient as possible, which helps us really keep down our implementation costs to make it as easy a conversation for you guys to be having with your customer base. So the first stage in the deployment process from the customer side is the implementation phase. And that involves an up to 2-hour online call with your customer to enable us to grab as much information about their business processes as possible. And it's at this phase that we don't necessarily ask technical questions such as, which field would you like where and where would you like it to sit on your CRM, but more along the lines of, where do you see your business going? What type of offerings are you offering now? what key metrics about your business can't you understand now that you would like to be able to? We often find that the SMBs that we're working with are coming from an environment of either working off a freemium CRM product or a bunch of disparate spreadsheets stored across their sales team's machines. And so as a result, they use this as an opportunity to really start to understand what's going on. So out of the back of that initial 2-hour engagement call, we work with the customer to build up a statement of work. And on that statement of work, it lists exactly what it is that we're going to build. So this is a layer of development that sits on top of Dynamics, on top of Springboard, that is completely unique to your customer. And so this is where it really starts to tailor that experience to each Springboard customer to make sure that from day one, they have the data and the fields that are relevant to them. Once that statement of work is signed off, it's at that point that we go into the construction phase. We build on trial licenses at this point to ensure that the customer doesn't have to pay for their Springboard licensing from day one, and they pay for it on month 1 of go live. So post-construction, which is managed in-house and quality assured by our team here in sunny Gloucestershire, we then go into the 2 key phases from my point of view, and those are data migration and training. So for us, data migration is a really key phase because it ensures that from day one, again, they've got some data that they're familiar with directly within their Springboard instance so that they can get going. They're not having to see this great hurdle of implementing all their data. So we provide the customer with templates for them to import, for them to pop on their data that we can then import to the CRM. And these can be for any of the entities within Dynamics CRM, such as leads, opportunities, contacts, and accounts, so they can bring in not only prospects, but also current customers that they're already working with. It's at this point that it's worth noting, from a bespoke development perspective, if you do have customers that are looking to implement a Dynamics CRM instance, but Springboard is not quite enough for them, they're looking to use it for other areas of their organization, we would have a conversation with them about automatically migrating their data rather than them inputting it onto a spreadsheet and then us importing it. But from a Springboard perspective, it's a really key phase because it allows our customers to have almost a spring clean of their data. We really don't want to be importing rubbish leads from 2010 that they know are never going to come to fruition. So it's a really good opportunity, as I say, to have a spring clean. Very much like if you're doing a SharePoint migration, you don't want to bring across all the documents from way back when, from the archive. You just want to bring the stuff that's really key and relevant to date. Then after all the data is migrated, we go into the training phase. So it's at this point when the customer goes live with Springboard. Again, we have a 2-hour online training call that goes through not only what Springboard is, but that layer of development that's unique to them. And from a training perspective, we take a very much functional approach. So we go through a process, an end user case such as, here's how we add a lead, here's how we qualify that lead through the sales process into an opportunity and close that opportunity as won or as lost. So not technical, but very much function-based, role-based training. And then the users are ready to go live. Now, obviously, from your guys' perspective as partners, there is a phase that very much sits left of the implementation phase in that pre-sales stage. And so as at Cloud 2020, we do offer full pre-sales support in the form of co-brandable marketing assets, which are available on the West Coast WES website that you can have completely free of charge co-branded, that includes e-shots, data sheets, brochures, and even battle cards for your sales guys to review when having those initial conversations with either your current customers or your prospects. And so those assets are really useful and something that you can start to take advantage of after today. What's more is we do offer webinars. So as part of the lead registration process, which we'll have a conversation about in a moment, we ask whether your customers would like a pre-sales webinar. And it's at that point that as partners you can be as involved as much or as little as you want. Some partners take the approach that, yeah, Lucy, we're really interested in selling Springboard, but at the moment we're completely manic. We can't take the time out to be involved in the webinar. So we're happy for you to take the lead and do that one yourself. Alternatively, actually, we'd like to use these pre-sales webinars as a learning experience for us to start to hear how you communicate with the customer, what questions you ask, and how you promote Springboard. And so we will take part in that webinar at that point as well. And so really, it's up to you guys as to how much or as little input you would like during not only the pre-sales but the rest of the process of implementing Springboard itself. With our pre-sales webinars, we do record them so that they're available to you at a later date, so you can go back and review them should you wish. Okay, so moving on, there are obvious some benefits of partnering with Cloud 2020 to sell Springboard. So not only have you got access to our complete product portfolio, which should open some doors to not only new opportunities and the prospects that you're working with, but perhaps customers that you've already got a relationship with too. But access all of our pre-sales, marketing, sales, collateral, etc., and our technical support. But hopefully also have a greater ability to meet your customers' needs. What we're finding with many of the partners that we're already working with is that now that they have the ability to offer Springboard, offer a CRM solution into their customers, that they're not losing as many customers as they were previously, because they may have been going to partners who could offer everything. And so by having that strategic partnership with Cloud 2020, they're not only offering more to their current base, but retaining more customers than they would otherwise. So from a product perspective, we have 3 lines of Springboard offerings. The first, Springboard Lite, is for the 5 to 9 seat businesses. So very much the startups or those micro businesses that are looking for a quick implementation of a CRM solution. So it includes all of the sales productivity, automation, and visibility on the Springboard dashboards. And so as you can see, we have a one-off implementation fee and plus a per user per month ongoing license, which includes support and maintenance of the Springboard offering through our support portal online and our knowledge base articles and videos. What you'll notice with Springboard, with all of our Springboard products, is that we've tried to keep the ongoing per user per month license fee as close to the retail price of Dynamics CRM as possible to ensure that they don't feel like they're paying for that additional function, but also appreciating that they are receiving a whole load of support and maintenance alongside that too. So moving on, our Springboard product itself that sits in the middle is designed for 10 to 99 users. Again, one-off implementation fee and an ongoing per user per month license fee. Now, where Springboard itself differs from Springboard Lite is that it also includes, alongside the sales and the marketing productivity, Microsoft social engagement with customized social engagement dashboards that you may or may not have seen a demonstration from Microsoft. And those dashboards are designed to look at key campaigns that the customers are looking at, or perhaps also assess what's being said on the social web about their key competitors or products that they're working with. As well as setting up those dashboards, we also hook social engagement into their CRM instance, their Springboard instance, to ensure that they can be creating new records from those social posts, such as a lead from a post that they're making. So they might listen out to key things that are being said about their product that they can then generate a lead from straight in their CRM. And as well as social engagement, we also configure Insights. Now, Insights is a really, really powerful tool which sits directly on the lead, opportunity, and account and contact records within Dynamics CRM, within the Springboard instance, that reaches out onto online sources and brings in as much information about that prospect or that company that you're working with that you may or may not know. And that comes in the format of blog posts or press releases that have been promoted about that company or a contact that you can then view, read, and share. It comes in the form of key data that you can then synchronize down into your CRM to keep your contact database as up to speed and as accurate as possible. And also it hooks into their social profile, so you can start to see what they're saying about themselves on their social channels. And finally, it also includes some really cool research in the form of industry and call prep questions that you can point your salespeople or those with a sales hat on in the direction of to help them start having more appropriate conversations with those prospects. So that's Springboard. And then Springboard Plus is specifically designed for organizations where when the sales process is finished is when the hard work really starts. So it includes full project management module, which allows you to, at the point of sale, allocate resources to the products and the services that you're offering during your opportunity phase, and then create a project straight out of the back of that opportunity. and manage all of the tasks, resource allocation, etc. against that project post-sale. So that's Springboard Plus. So those are our 3 offerings. Again, just to highlight that we can do webinars around any of those 3 offerings. So if you have key prospects that you've got in mind, we can tailor those webinars to their requirements. We do also offer some additional Springboard modules for those customers that may have an additional requirement that sits outside of what the regular Springboard products offer. So firstly, social engagement, which is an add-on for those for Springboard Lite. So if you have users, 5 to 9 user seat business, they can add on that Springboard social engagement module, as well as projects and Power BI modules. One of the most popular Springboard additional modules is our automated marketing one, which allows our Springboard customers to create email shots, web forms, surveys, nurture campaigns, and also track the interaction of your prospects and customers on your websites or your multiple pieces of web property, which is a really valuable tool and is only an additional £300 per organisation per month, and really has allowed our SMB Springboard customers to free up some of the administrative time that those with a marketing hat on were spending assessing what was going on within their organisation from a marketing perspective. 3 additional key modules is around our HR module, which allows us to track holidays, a leave, etc., and also appraisals and performance reviews. Also document automation, which is a massively powerful tool, which basically takes any record within Dynamics CRM and allows you to build and create document templates that can be triggered by a simple click of a mouse. So take, for example, you may be, let's say, the customer may be a business support organization, and they track key support that they provide their businesses within the account record. Using the document automation tool, you can click on a button that says perhaps send benefit statement. It creates an email, pops the content of the email straight in the email, creates the document, which is taken from a central document template repository, puts in all the key fields from the CRM records that it needs, such as company name and lists of the key business support that they've provided, PDFs the document, attaches it to the email and sends it without you having to do any of that. So where that's really beneficial is that all of your templates are stored in one place and you're not having to switch out any of the fields and, you know, inevitably send out a non-disclosure agreement with the wrong company name in it, for example. And finally, our finance module, which allows us to hook into the SME-focused Xero accountancy package, so that as soon as an invoice is created in CRM, it feeds through to Xero, and you can manage credit control, etc., directly within Dynamics CRM, so it becomes a central repository for all of your company information. So, are you ready to get started? So I'll just hand over to Georgie now at this point, so she can go through how you can, as partners, sign up to become a Springboard partner and start to offer this out to your customers.
Hello everybody. Hope you thoroughly enjoyed the presentation and seen all the opportunities and are ready to and keen to be talking to your customers out there and hoping to work with Lucy in order to deliver a full solution. Any of you guys or ladies have got opportunities, please feel free to speak to West Coast Cloud team and we will help you and we'll be able to consult with you and also work with you guys with Lucy's team at Cloud 2020. All we need you guys to do is drop an email into admin at West Coast Cloud. That's admin at westcoastcloud.co.uk and we will respond to that as quick as possible. If you guys haven't got a West Coast Cloud account with West Coast, then again drop us an email and we can set you up an account within the day. We can set you up with Lucy, we can answer any questions that you have, and we also have access to lots of documentation, cheat sheets, information, and we can set you up with demos as well. So whatever you guys need, we're going to help you achieve a fantastic sale with your customers. We're very excited about working with Cloud 2020 and the opportunities out there are huge. Let's go out and win some. Thank you.